The views expressed in this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Armenian Council for Truth in Journalism or any other TMI affiliate.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. I'm Lou Starsky. Got a great show for you today. Got an old school friend of mine that I'm really excited about having a conversation, especially in these times, but met him a while ago. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk a lot of hip hop today. So that's going to be a lot of fun because that is my true love, not conspiracy, but anyways, we'll go with that. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to be diverging today from the normal history talk and talk about some music. And we're going to play a couple of clips. I got a friend in that just dropped an album called Phantom Feelings. And but first, we're going to talk about our sponsor, Flickwick. The Flickwick is a holder for your lighter, and it also has a hemp wick to save your lighter. So, gonna demonstrate it right now. This is medical marijuana, by the way, because I am in Colorado. But yeah, you just light the bad boy up, and then it just stays lit. So that's kind of dope. And that's how it works. So if you want to, if you want one, head over to shop.flickwick.com and type in ACTJ as the promo code for 20% off. And I did get some feedback that we've had a couple of people buying some Flickwick, so that's good. And so we'll also don't forget to go over to the ACTJ page and support by getting some t-shirts too. Those are pretty dope t-shirts. But anyways, I think I'm gonna play this clip as a way to intro, because when I met Yamin, it was in Atlanta, and there's a lot of buzz. Just everybody was just kind of artistic and doing music or getting into video or all this stuff, and so we were all just kind of supporting each other, whether it was a show or whatnot. But I used to still try to talk a little crazy conspiracy. And I remember when this track came out, it was as if it was all the things that I was thinking about as a musician. He was able to just encapsulate it all in a few rhymes. So I thought that was pretty impressive. And I've always wanted to talk to him about this track. So that'll be a lot of fun to do. But without further ado, I'm going to play this track to kind of intro y'all how he was a while ago. And then we'll get into more of his newer stuff.
This is how you know who really got your back. They ride for the cause when the cause is the jack. Never stall on the call if a sucker deserve it. Come to your job, fuck internet surfing. Rumors of war that I viewed from before. While Obama still got bombs queued to deploy on the Pakistani boys with them automatic toys. So I never lost sleep over beef. This is course, it's fish, you a bitch. General betrayers. Spell it with a B like a killer when you say it. Interesting, ain't it, man? The news is entertainment. How is it if you rule the human population? Through indoctrination, you are the chattel. Tuned to the channel and used in the battle. You've been abused, the truth is the rattle. Too many cartoons, man, truth is just fragile. Lebanon to Iran to the Pentagon, White House to the couch that you sitting on. Can't hide from the missile launch. Can't call time out when the shit is on, shit is on. War games, but don't get it wrong. Whether cold or a minute long. Their fears through the ticking bomb, it's all shalom, but we bearing arms. If we can't get along, gotta get it on.
And without further ado, let me bring on my good friend, Yamin. So first question, Yamin, how you doing? Can everybody hear him? Thaddeus, can you hear him?
No, I can't hear him, man.
Yamin, you mind? Let me see. Maybe I can add you back. Do you want to get out of the program and come back and just jump right back in? It usually solves itself. But anyways, that was just his verse on a track called War Games, and it just goes on and on, man. I just thought it was very poignant, and I think for an underground artist to for an underground artist to talk that type of truth, you know, I just always found endearing to me. So anyways, we'll hopefully get him back on here in a second, or else the the flow is going to be a little bit off. But what we can do is maybe play a different track of his while we wait. Let's see. You good?
Yeah, hear me?
Yeah. Of course. Our first musical guest, and we got some audio technical difficulties. But so first questions, how do you say your name?
Yamin, Semali.
Semali. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I've always been very tentative when to call you. I mean, like, yeah, Yamin, is it?
Yeah, that's what's, yeah, man. I did a song called Yamin just to kind of clear that up. And it's funny, like, people still just have a hard
Still
time with it,
messing.
you know, but it's
Yeah.
it's all
Yo, I
good,
like
man.
that one, man. Yeah, no, I love that song, man. Because that
Oh,
helped me
appreciate it.
figure out, like, all right, how to pronounce his name. Also, that shit is real hot.
Informative track.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what else was like that was the Talib Kweli track when he did his little track like that.
Quality,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
People, that's what I mean. It's stuck.
For
That's
sure.
when you got
So
50. That,
no,
when you
go ahead.
got racks
So
behind your promo.
yeah. The next question I wanted to ask you was that I wanted to get all the childhood, you know, because the thing is like about you is that you're not just a great lyricist, you actually love music, right? Like you have a musical background, right?
Yeah. Do I have a musical background? Yeah, I was in band since middle school. I started off with playing the baritone, actually, before I
Because
got
Bill
into any
Clinton.
like uh anything I really wanted to play. So I started playing that. I went to drums in high school, middle school, like the summer going into high school. And can y'all hear me all right?
Oh yeah, perfectly now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. So the drumming thing, I did private. That was the first thing I did private lessons with. Um, I still carry it on, but I haven't really picked up a set. Actually, my friend has my set. He's had it for like a decade at his house. But yeah, just but it was all me. It wasn't like a musical family or nothing like that. It was definitely just like my
You're
pastime and passion.
nice. Yeah, and so you've picked up like playing the piano and some other stuff too, right?
Let's say it again, bro.
You also play like the piano. Well, I guess all of that just leads me to the question because I've always been curious because you always got really dope beats, like very professional beats. Like, do you just have a really good discerning eye when you're listening to producers' tracks, or are you involved in the beat making process?
Oh, word. Yeah, I do. I have a piano teacher right now, actually, too. You're right.
Of course, Thad.
Yes.
Why is the internet
No,
so in Georgia?
the internet hates us tonight, man. No, man, because it's real fascinating, right? Because I've been very fascinated with just kind of getting
Into him, right?
hooked back up with my roots, right? Of listening to like this underground hip hop, none of this overly commercialized stuff, and it's good to hear from someone who's been in the ground for a bit. But I'll back out here and let y'all finish the conversation here now.
All right.
Back
So
again.
back again. So what do you consider? Let's just get right into hip hop.
All right.
What do you consider 5 of the 10 most important, not the albums that you loved growing up, but what do you think the most important hip hop albums to accreditate it, if you will?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Just for
think?
hip hop.
Yeah, just hip hop albums, like good, like just kind of groundbreaking hip hop albums. Like I wrote down a few. I think the first one is obviously Paid in Full. I think what
No
they
doubt.
did, they made hip hop cool.
Yeah.
They did something where they just changed the whole vibe of it. So
Yeah,
what do you?
it became kind of serious. I would definitely throw that in there. I mean, I'm thinking about records I actually own. I mean, I would say It Takes a Nation of Millions
That's on
would
my
be
list.
one. Yeah, that would definitely be on there. America's
Straight Outta
Most Wanted.
Compton.
Straight Outta Compton, definitely. I was gonna give it the Cube on that nod. It just depends on.
Oh, when he linked up with Death Squad when he came over to the East Side.
Oh yeah, when he got up with Chuck and them, Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, like that was a big one. That was also when hip hop became like kind of more bi-coastal as well. You mentioned that. Yeah. So that's like what, 3 right there. I would say 36 Chambers, very,
That's my number 1, by the way.
That's your number 1. Yeah.
That thing changed. That changed everything because it really allowed it was such a how can I say this? It was such a divergent from just it being like it just allowed for more experimentation. And I think Old Dirty Bastard had a lot to do with that too. But just it let some of those people that were on the fringe, so some of the geekier kids, black or white, it allowed them to kind of explore some of their geekier sides, and I think that gave us a lot of other people. So I think that had a huge impact because it made being a nerd cool because they were nerds. They were basically just old ninja movie nerds.
Yeah, and talking about science and chess, like those are things that like definitely was more nerd. On a nerd tangent. My neighbors, they were from New York. I actually, my mom's from New York, and she was cool with this lady. When we lived in Stone Mountain for a short period of time, they kind of hit it off, and I got cool with her kids, and they had all the VHS tapes, all the 36 Chambers videos, and they were like my age, man, like Jamaican kids, and that was really my introduction to them. But I was listening to Eazy-E at that time. I was listening to Aerosmith at that time a lot. I was listening to believe it or not, Phoebe Snow.
Nice.
Phoebe Snow shit.
I listen to a lot of stuff. Go ahead. I was gonna say, I find most musicians that are worth their salt have, a wide array of musical influences. It's not just like the one that they're good at, or the one that they've chosen to do. It's like it takes a lot of influences to make that sound right.
For real, you got to see what attracts everybody. That's why hip hop is so infectious and it's taken off like it has, because it had such a good tutelage just from everything, from even like the new wave, like techno, which is.
We saw Illmatic pop up. I think that's my number 2. You just pop back on and pop back off. I'm actually gonna take a break right here and just play one of your tracks. Just do the reset thing because I can't hear your sound, or maybe I don't know. Do I have to click you? Talk. No, just leave it and come right back. I'm gonna play your track here. Which one was that one? I think that was 7.
Yeah. Who got more spirit than the liquor store? This ATLians and Iron Man with a liquid sword. So if we chest boxing, I'ma need a bigger board. Black and white child like it's Masonic temple floors. Motherfuckers need to listen more. That was a triple score. By my second bar, I had them insecure. When women hear my voice, it hits they inner core like intercourse. They stripping more than Demi Moore for me to say this dick is yours. Even had a couple tell me they would get divorced. Turned me off like tripping over power strip extension cords. This shit the door. Hey, they been had a travel ban on these niggas from Atlantistan. They soldiers pull us over like we in the Taliban. Not Packy, but the SWAT's like SWAT Valley. When they approaching your box caddy with the Glock handy. I seen people doing time over pot baggers. Distribution charges on top of they rock candy. And it don't mean shit just because the cops snappy. Listen, boy, they send you to prison to rock gladly. I'm a pillar in my community who still walk around like a killer with immunity. But no sinner has impunity. I'm the proof like liquor, nigga, there's no diluting me. Hey, it's your brain off a golden grain, toxin double up about the tracks. When you see me train spotting, everybody don't subscribe, but you see they stay watching. Fuck your name dropping, that's for you lames who ain't popping. The homie Chris said my style growing in dog years. If you tick me off, you better flee when I draw near. When money talks, I'm like a cornfield, boy, I'm all ears. Sure to be the last one standing when this fog clears, yeah.
And That track was pretty dope.
Hey,
and that's how you started off an album. Like, what album was that in your whole discography? Was that two albums?
That's yeah, it's about 2 ago. If you count my instrumental album from last summer, that was the Hot EP, which we made look like Hotep. You know, you put the words together. It was kind of like a tongue-in-cheek play on words, you know, lyrical rap, miracle, black Africa pyramid shit. You know.
I love that one. That was that was a dope one because I knew you were getting into characters. I love that shit.
Yeah, we was just barring it out. That was my boy Schizo. He made those beats. He made the beats on my new album too. But we had
I know. Well, I was actually gonna talk about that a little later because he has probably my third favorite track, and I guess it was an instrumental. It was just a session over there. That one vibe with like that. Normally you don't see a lot of people are reluctant to put instrumentals on albums these days. It seems like.
Man, I don't know, man. Like he's a drummer too, so that's why he was able to get nasty like that. I just did the scratches on it, and
that's the scratches on it were perfect. That was definitely one song that I have later that I was gonna highlight was that track. So I'm glad you said his name because I was gonna struggle through it.
Oh yeah, 00 Schizo,
yeah. Nice. So I think we left off at Illmatic. So I think Illmatic was mentioned, and I think it's undeniable the impact that one had. I mean,
yeah, bro. I love that album, man. I know Nas is tired of people talking about it. It was just hilarious to me, but that one's definitely important, and it's such a short project too. You know what I mean? Like, and and that's why I give it to Rakim too. When you said Paid in Full, that's why I didn't say Illmatic necessarily, because he comes right out of that. Like, he was recording with Rakim as a kid. You know what I mean? Just that's why I wanted to give. If I had to choose, I was going to choose Ra. You know, just because without Ra, there's no Nas. You know, but
exactly.
And Nas is kind of discography. He's got so many good joints, but his discography has just been like
it's been washed.
It's always been up for debate and asterisks, and it's always been split. You know, he's such a divisive character, even among like the purists of hip hop. You know, so
I hear. But the thing is, you know, money. The way money affects people, it makes even the best of us, you know, into devils. So I mean, like, I can't hate on him for losing his drive, because I was actually going to ask you that. But I did want to get over through this list real quick because we
gotta go back to Nas. I don't want to leave Nas looking like we just like shit on Nas. You know?
Nas is able to get probably the 10 greatest producers of the time to beg to want to be on with him after just one track of hearing him. So Nas did his thing. Like, you know, like I'm just saying, like, the drive goes away, and I'll talk to you about that, specifically about your drive and like how you keep that going. But if you had to put a Tupac album, which one would you go with? As far as one that's important.
Probably Me Against the World.
Against the World, that's the one I got. Because that's right when it came out. He wrote it in jail.
It gets no realer than that. He said some real inspirational lines on there. Like, his flow was just like he had so much focus, and he had Easy Mo B, and he had like producers from the East that I like. Because New York. Tupac's a New York dude. End of the day, man. Like, to me. All the West Coast, you know, rah. I don't think that was ever him, really. His name used to be MC New York, man. You know?
That's hilarious. Well, I knew him as the dancer in what was the Humpty Dumpty? What was the Humpty Dance
Digital Underground?
Digital. I love them, dude. They got me in trouble, man. Remember where you could get like you can get like a 10 CDs for like a penny or something. Well, the Digital Underground one came, and my mom was like, "Oh, what's this?" And she opened it, and it was the first CD, and it had a condom on it, and it was just like trying to hand you a condom, and she just broke that shit right in half. I was like,
What was it called? Like hot sex packets or something like that?
Yeah. That guy was a genius to do two personas like that.
Shock G, man. He just had a birthday.
And he also knew that Tupac was a talent. You know, he brought him on as a dancer and gave him a couple lines. So, okay. So then another group, De La Soul, because I think they had the opposite effect of what of what a Nas did. It's just because they just get better and better, and as we get older and
Yeah.
older, we want that evolution of sound, and they've been giving it to us. Like they've been striving to give it to us, and they've worked with some of our homeboys in Atlanta for the last couple tracks or last couple
That's
albums.
real. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, definitely, man. And they produce too. I think that has a big part to do with that. A big thing to do with that. But Nas too, man. It ain't even like I don't think he just writes, man. I don't think he puts together a whole album. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
He might be like a great screenplay screenwriter, and then he needs another director or something like that. That's like the only type of critique, and he's a master, so it's just what I love as an art.
Right.
I'm not trying to knock nobody, especially him.
Yeah, no,
But
I definitely know where you're coming from on that.
yeah,
I mean,
he spoke to his Kanye project.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I definitely don't have. I like Kanye, but I don't have him on there. And so the last of the ones that are kind of just like honorable mentions are probably Low End Theory. I thought that was a pretty impressive album. License to Ill by the Beastie Boys. They get a little shout out.
No doubt.
AT Aliens. If I had to choose the Outcast one, I'd have to go with AT Aliens.
I'll go with AT Aliens too, man.
Yeah, it wasn't the first one. I think the second one is when they had some of the guys from Wu-Tang on there. I think that just did so much for them.
Oh, that was on Aquemini. That was the one with Raekwon.
That was
That was skewed on the Barbie. Yeah, that was a good. It's funny. I don't know what I was on around that time. I think I was just so Wu-Tang, and I never really wanted to. I listened to everything, but I think at that time, I remember when Aquemini came out. I got it from my uncle for just a gift. He just gave it to me. I can't remember. It wasn't no occasion. But I hadn't had it already. Like, I usually would get them the first day when Outkast albums drop. But for whatever reason, I think the Rosa Parks joint, I just wasn't really feeling it when I was that age.
Right.
I was really so hardcore into like DITC and Woo and stuff, around that time. But it just didn't.
What are you talking about?
Like for real, I was just like older than my, my taste was always older because the first CD I ever owned was like Brand Nubian, like.
Oh, that's an interesting one that I did not bring into, but
One for All, like that was the first one, and I got it because my uncle gave my mom a CD player and he left it in there, and he lived all the way in North Carolina, so it was my
yours.
CD. But I had cassettes before that, but that was the first CD,
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, my style was just always my family's from New York. For the most part, even the ones in North Carolina came from New York. So it's just
and my family's got some love in New York. We got a lot of family there. My sisters and brothers, and my mom lived there for about 4 years, and then they came back down to Atlanta. Actually, no, then they went to Puerto Rico. Then they had me, and then we moved to Atlanta. But anyways, no, New York is a strange place. It's a good place to visit, but I love what Atlanta's got. It's got a little bit of something else that that New York just doesn't have. But and I'll finish it up with, where do you put the Ghetto Boys?
Ooh, the Ghetto Boys is, man, they up there, man. They legends. I think they all walked it how they talked it. You know what I'm saying? They up there, dog. Like, they was a little bit before me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I caught on to some of the stuff later, they were still making music contemporarily with like Wu and stuff, but
yeah,
they started even earlier, like regionally, and I don't think it really caught on where I was just at in life. Yeah. But I always had a lot of respect for them as a group.
I'll tell you my little thing about that, because I'm 43. So Ghetto Boys was introduced to me the way a narcotic would be introduced to someone, where it was just like, yo, looking around both ways, yo, play this, it's like, it was like
on the low.
Yeah, it's like, keep it on the low. So I just like, that's how music was passed around then, and I was just like, I just remember I was like, damn, Ghetto Boys, okay, this is the hot shit, let me listen to it. Word. And it did not disappoint, that's for sure. My mind's playing tricks on me, still goes through my head sometimes.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I got my Easy Does It tape, was like that, from a classmate in elementary school. Like,
yeah. That and a 2 Live Crew was like that.
Yeah, the record covers, man. Yeah, Too Short. I played a lot of Too Short. I had my mom actually bought me Get In Where You Fit In. Like, she bought me that shit. Like,
that was a good one.
She bought me a lot of shit that was like probably not like on the
Yeah,
advised parent list. Like,
because back then it was still do you remember bass culture? Like there was it was just like albums. It was like the DJs of the world were putting out just bass tracks, like Feel the Bass, like DJ Magic Mike and all that shit. Because that shit was like in between the MCs, it was still that type of shit that was like, oh, we got this car. Yeah, you know, it's like
they had tones. I remember I used to work at a CD store like in high school, and they had CDs with just bass tones. Like they would just be like, this is this many hertz. This is this many hertz. I'm like, why would somebody buy this? I was as clueless that people were really buying them for their system. Like if I play this 90 hertz, I'll blow everybody else out.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like they had weapons on tracks on CD.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. That was kind of that was definitely kind of cool. But I just remember Too Short. What I felt Too Short did is he did a good job of bridging those two things. You know, he would take real bassy tracks, put some funky shit over it, and then rhyme over it. You know, so I just remember like Shorty the Pimp was dope. Like, and then you know, 8 Ball and MJG, I don't think get enough recognition as far as Southern shit.
Nah, I actually played a lot of Swag House when I was growing up too. A lot of South Circle, Mr. Mike, you know, all that clique. I used to really like them because they used to have a lot of live music, and they was still rapping. You know what I'm saying? They was doing 16, 32 bar verses, and MJG, No More Glory, still one of my favorite albums.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm trying to move it along because I want to bring my boy Thaddeus in here because I know he wants to bring some stuff, but I want to finish some questions up before we bring him on. So now that was kind of more of your childhood, but now the entrepreneurship of being an MC, how much sacrifice do you have to do to make an album? Like how much time? Like what does making an album look like for you? Like what?
Sometimes sometimes I produce it's almost like I produce everything or somebody else produces everything. I don't really have a lot of tracks where I do like half and somebody else do half, or I got 3 over here. And I just don't I like working with one person, even if it's just me. And that usually goes quicker, right? But I think it actually would go, I don't know. I think it would go faster if I just pick beats I like and just wrote as I like them, because that's instant inspiration. But with me, I'll sit with a producer like Schizo, and he gives me a lot of fucking beats, like hundreds of beats I have of his. So I have to sift through what I'm doing, what's the best. And that's a little harder. With me, I'm always like, if I'm in the mood to make beats, I can pick one from here, there. But I still got to be like, well, I can do this one better. So I'm always looking at it producer first, and then I feel comfortable enough to write. So because there's a lot of moving parts with beats, and I think it takes me a little longer because it's not like I'm produced. I am that. Like nobody's giving me this polished track. You know what I'm saying? Just do your thing. And I do that too. Like when I do features, I can write features in like 30 minutes. Like I've written songs.
Oh no. I was super interested in what he was saying, Dad. What do you think about that?
I mean, I was like, I'm intrigued, right? You're someone who's truly like into his craft, right?
Yeah, I'm hanging on
trying to give you he's trying to give you like insight.
I'm hanging on every word you're saying. What he's
I'm back. Oh, I'm back. Oh, everything went away for a minute. For me, anyway. Y'all hear me?
I'm here. Yeah, no, I can hear you perfectly now. Okay, well, since that kind of truncated your answer, let me ask you this: How do you feel like this will affect? How do you feel like the current situations will affect that moving forward? Like the whole getting with one person, you know, in a studio or maybe even at your place, like with all the social distancing and people getting more stream orientated and working, because I've heard some artists talk about it where, you know, they work over the stream now, like this, and they're just jamming. That I feel like there's an element.
Word. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to figure it out. I mean, it's funny. Before this was happening, I was kind of thinking I need to get like a rig for my Instagram lives, because I was doing a lot of live videos a couple months ago making beats. I saved some of them, but just to have that clearer sound and maybe something where, you know, latency isn't a problem. I would like to do that. I miss doing real shows though. I will be touring right now, honestly.
Yeah. That's crazy, right? That they've taken all of that away.
it's just like, and I don't know when it'll be back. Even when it's okay to be back, most people probably still are gonna lay low for a while. So it's cool though. I mean, honestly, I'm glad I got like a career. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wasn't waiting on it. I just love doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm sad.
But you know,
I'm saddened by the way that they've taken live music, comedians, DJs, all of that away overnight, because those that to me was like culture. That was American culture. That was like driving force of our identity, of something that we felt good about. Because you know, since 2000, you know, I've been giving up on institutions and giving up on things in America as I've progressed. Now I'm 20 years later. The one thing that I believed in was the people that were going out and putting their talents on the line, and people that were going out and supporting it. That was my vibe, man. That was my shit.
Yeah. That's how I met so many people in life, you know, like a lot of the ways that I've been able to do things successfully was because I was in a different city, and you know, opportunity was met with the chance, you know. So yeah, that's going to be different, but you know, I think everything is meant for somebody. You can't really escape it.
Yeah.
And you know, I think people are coming up with other ways. I've seen a couple venues around town. They got the patios now, so people probably can perform outdoors. You know, it's about to get cold outside in a little bit, but you know,
living in Colorado after living in Atlanta, it does not get cold in Atlanta.
It'll be too cold for people from here to come outside. Let's put it like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's crazy. So now I'm finally to that question that was I kind of alluded to before. Is what I find is a lot of MCs' first release or their second release are their best work, and then it just kind of tails down because like, I feel that they have a whole 20 formative years to develop these albums, these first albums, and then once you make it, you know, you're rushed into, for whatever reason. Sometimes it's the you know, the contract. Yeah, sometimes it's PR. Sometimes it's like people saying, "Hey, you got to stay hot, get out there, you know, put subpar shit out, you know, that type of thing." And, yeah, and so how do you fight that? Like as an artist, how do you fight? Like what's your
honestly, to be real with you, man, I can't even speak to that experience because I haven't had like no major deal. I haven't had like everything I've done. I've worked hard as fuck for it, and I think every time I release, well, what I've been told and what I've understood from analytics to just like word of mouth, everything's better every time, you know. So shit, you know, he looks short.
I think they're talking about me though.
Unfortunately. But just every release has been better. I've just, you know, I've worked on my skill sets. Like I've gone out of the country after I did my national thing. You know what I'm saying? Like everything has a trajectory that's kind of upward. So I can't really speak to that experience. And, you know, maybe if I was on a major label and I was in debt, which is what all these major labels.
How about this? How do you feel new ideas are formulating? Do you think that's easier to get do you think it's easier now to make complex ideas into concise bars? Because that's what you do.
Oh hell yeah.
Because like that's the thing, I guess, like that's the trade-off, and you know, your idea, like you get better at that part. So I'll just I'm gonna go ahead and bring Thaddeus in. Let me do his little plugs too. What's going on, Thaddeus? How are you?
Thank you for finally having me. No, what's going on, man?
Talk to Yamin. Hours with him.
What up, Dad?
But we'll do it after too. So, but yeah. So, Thaddeus, who's your favorite MC?
Right now, man, it's Yamin. No, just joking. It's like I was kind of going through that list. I was going through my own little list in my own head of like, you know, influential and kind of very inspirational albums for me. The things that made me want to be a rapper, even though I was failed at the attempts at age 13. I am proof positive that you should keep your masters, because if I ever enter public life, and someone like is to surface those fucking tracks, they're gross. I'll just let y'all know that right now.
Okay,
no, I had like I'm a guy that's always been like definitely 36 Chambers, definitely Illmatic, but like the Chronic, like
have the Chronic
things
on
fall apart. Things fall apart
did
from the
not
Roots.
have the
I've been a
Roots
Roots fan. I've been a Roots fan my entire life.
Yeah, I probably
ever since I
wouldn't
picked
go
up their
with
mixtape from like a t-shirt shop, man. I was just like, who
I
these
would probably
cats?
go with
They're
their
playing
first
instruments.
Yeah, exactly. I would probably go with their first album. What's that? That's that. I know you think it when I kick it, babe.
Popcorn on it.
Pass the popcorn.
Yeah, pass the popcorn. Yeah, I mean, pass the popcorn in and of itself as a track is like something that gets you pumped. But like, I feel that like it became this master. They came together and they created this masterpiece, and I still think this masterpiece just things fall apart.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful.
And that was it. And then I would give probably honorable mention to like Philadelphia Half-Life. But no, I'm like you guys are bringing up some good ones, right? Because it's just
like
Ready to Die. Like, what's that? From Biggie?
Yeah. What about Ready to Die? That was a good one.
Yeah. I had, in truth be told, I preferred that album more than like All Eyes on Me. But then after Tupac's death, I listened to it. I'm like, all right, it was actually kind of a classic.
Yeah.
Because I'm a partisan from the East Coast West Coast wars, right? And so but yeah, Ready to Die, definitely. Machine Gun Funk, come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I was gonna ask. So I've been listening to a lot of Yamin's albums and stuff like that, and I get this vibes. Like some of the stuff is like Black Star and Mos Def. And I kind of feel that now that I know that you have like a New York roots, like I can hear some of those influences. And then like I was listening to another track and I'm just like, damn, that sounds like some early Outcasts or freaking Atlanteans or whatever. And I'm just like, it's just great like hodgepodge and stuff like that. So basically, like, yeah, what have been your like the artists that have been pushed, that have been your biggest inspirations before you started MCing, producing, and DJing?
For real, Dr. Dre, I'm glad you said the Chronic, because Dr. Dre was always like, before I was even hip. I mean, I guess I knew from the whole Eazy-E trajectory. I told you
NWA, niggas for life.
Yeah. So I came into Eazy-E like, again, the first CD I bought. I'm telling y'all, the first CD I owned was brand new. The first CD I bought with my own money was the 187 album, the Eazy-E album, right? So he was beefing with Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I realized that, okay, Dre was doing the beats back
then. It must have worked.
Yeah. So, and then I heard No Vaseline after I heard that, right? So I was like figuring out the whole West Coast thing. So that was big for me. Before I started producing, I would say also Pete Rock. I used to, I think I knew the words that they reminisce like when I was like 7. You know what I mean? Just because it was just like an ill song to me. I'm like, yo, none of these words sound like the shit before it. Like, wow, it was like a challenge because the way he rhymed was just like, I'm gonna say whatever almost,
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm gonna. And there was that time when the New York rappers were coming with like jazz, right? Like remember like Jazz Mataz from like Gangstar, and you remember that, and it's just like you never heard those things, those samples. Oh, dude!
I'm lying. I was 9 years old. I'm getting it right now.
I'm lying.
I didn't think about it for a minute. I was 9.
Real quick, I wanna tell Yamin real quick. My favorite track on the new album, which had a Slum Village vibe to it on some tracks, which I like a lot, and the track that I couldn't stop playing was One Deep. And so I'm going to play that one real quick.
Good looking, man. That's a good surprise.
Yeah. I'm going to play that one real quick. And I just love this track.
Oh, what's up, man? Thank you.
It's just me. Ride through the city, nigga, one day. Nobody beside me in the first seat. Still feeling like no one can touch me. And it must be. Yeah. Whenever it's time to do work, rolling up my sleeves, each side of my shirt, bon appetit when I serve. People meeting they word. 2 crows and 1 stone. Humble pie and dessert. Nigga, that's soul food. Not the kind they cook in the south. I mean, they soul's food. Yeah, they put their foot in their mouth. I'm a beast. You won't catch me with my hook to my snout. On my tail between my legs. Out you looking for cloud. That ain't my motivation. Fuck all that faking, dog. I grown impatient. You trying to locate the remote. I'm in remote locations. That's why they got my photo posted at the local station. I got away with words and left the ransom note for payment. Don't make me have to amputate the hands of fate. Then send 10 digits to you like we planning days. That's unless you plan on meeting all of the demands I've made. Now tell me who else would you rather hate? I bet they say it's just me. Ride through the city, nigga, one day. Nobody beside me in the front seat. Still feeling like no one can touch me. And it must be verified there in my area. Where am I? Very up, very high, very kids in the sky. Prepare to die or near to fly. Compare to slide. If you're scared to try, spare the embarrassment, step aside. Pierce through your soul like Tupac knows. All eyes on me like a Yukon gold. It's dark and tea's hot. Watch the oolongs go. Every line tongue when time has come for truth not told. It takes a lot to push me. But homie, I'm not a rookie. Status is known, class of my own. Y'all playing hoodies. And I ain't about to call no names, but word is bond like James. A couple niggas went from octopus. Put that on everything, thinking they won't flip. I see that they will, son, they Geraldines. And if they throwing shots, it's ketamine. Cause I ain't felt a thing and I don't need no help to bring because it's just me. Yeah. Ride through the city, nigga, one day. Nobody beside me in the front seat. Still feeling like no one can touch me. And it must be. It's just me. Ride through the city, nigga, one day. Nobody beside me in the front seat. Still feeling like no one can touch me. And it must be.
All right, yeah, that one. If I could just keep playing that one.
Thank you, man.
Over and over. It's just perfect. Talking about jazz.
What was Lou saying earlier, man? Lou was saying like you could just drive around all day just listening to that. And the analogy to that is just like it's just the grind, right? Because it's just you. I'm just one beat, and I'm just doing what I need to do, you know. And like if it's just me going to work, if it's me getting on the getting on the mic, if it's me getting in the studio and chopping shit up, it's just me, one deep. And it's like, yeah, I like that. And it actually has that kind of like. It has that southern feel. Like I feel like there's a little southernness with a little bit because in the South you drive around. Yeah. In New York you get on a train.
I think it's one of them joints that any region can kind of grasp something from it, Yeah. And that's a good confirmation from y'all, because I'm about to go out of town and do a video for that, and hopefully it just be a smooth trip.
Man. That one's dope.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, the whole album, man. Yeah. I don't want to speak ahead of time about the album, but every song kind of got like a theme, kind of to the Phantom Feeling thing. I could tell y'all about that when it comes
well, okay. So I do have a little marker on that, but I wanted to do kind of like a really quick fire for y'all two, for y'all two gentlemen. Okay, who's better? Or what are your thoughts on Nas versus Kendrick Lamar? I'll let Yamin go first.
This is generation. That's a generational question.
Yeah, no. I think that they're identical for their generations, but
okay.
Not even identical, but just impactful.
I think Kendrick is way more impactful than Nas was when he came out.
Yes,
I'll say that.
I think I'm just gonna put it out there, biased and to be known. I think Kendrick's the best MC.
You do? I respect that. I definitely respect that. Now, I don't know if he's better than Nas when he first came out. Like, that's a different story right there. You know what I'm saying? I can't just be like, because but then hip hop is bigger too, right? But
that's what I was gonna add.
Yeah, he played the Super Bowl, I believe, or some shit crazy.
He did what now?
He played some big event, didn't he? Or I guess an award show, something. I saw some. Because I don't watch a lot of TV at all.
Oh yeah,
So when I got into Kendrick, Yeah, when I got into Kendrick, yeah, he did something in the Grammys, and it was like, damn,
He
dude,
lost to Macklemore that year, and it was
that was
like,
powerful though. That performance was
yeah.
so good. I was just like, they let that shit on TV. People got to see that.
Man. I think
You know,
he's more. I think he just has a better overall aesthetic. I think Nas was kind of reclusive.
but it was grimy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was for his time, right? I think Kendrick can blow up a little bigger than Nas just because of, again, the platform of hip hop as a whole is much larger.
Sure.
Nas was just kind of that grind, and like, I mean, I don't even think Illmatic went. I don't think Illmatic went platinum. I mean, I think it was
maybe now. I think it went platinum like
now probably it was, but at the time when
it went platinum in my heart. That's all I know.
Platinum on the streets.
I mean, I have an East Coast bias, so to me, I just felt Nas deeper. And like the first time you heard like "Life's a Bitch and Then You Die," right?
And
it's like and One Love and all these things. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'm pretty much Kendrick probably has a lot more of a wider spectrum, right? Like, what was that one song he did? I don't know, man. Like he was just kind of dancing in the club and shit like that. What's the name of that song? I don't even know, man. But that shit was, maybe, I don't know, man. But it was like a real funky. It was real funky as fuck. I'm like, all right. I like this kid, right? But
so
it's an East Coast versus West Coast thing. So I have an East Coast bias.
I think he has a better run of albums than Nas. You know, that's not saying everything.
Oh yeah,
but, you know, like, you know, it's just so many different criteria. You know, you could throw up for each of them to get us.
I got the next because I'm trying to do this a little quick fire because I know we're running out of time. We got a really dope show coming up next. Nameless program change is the topic, but anyways, real quick, who is your favorite unknown MC? I'll start it. I'll say Sparkmaster Tape is my favorite person to introduce people to.
Who?
Sparkmaster Tape.
You gotta send me that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in the after show for sure.
Cool.
Me?
So who's yours? Who do you like introducing?
Yeah, who's yours?
To?
What's up? What'd you say?
Who do you like introducing people in? Who do you like introducing people to?
Okay, so me, yeah, I would say Lazarus, my homie from Raleigh. He's on my album actually. He's on the song Mariana's Web.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
You know, some people think that's me on both verses, but
no, I knew it.
That's just how we kind of both sound. Like, I'm from North Carolina originally, right?
Oh, really? He's from South Carolina.
Oh, who is that? It?
Yeah.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
man, Carolina boys. Yeah. But Laz, like, it's crazy. The higher up the chain you go in North Carolina hip hop, they know who he is, man. So I can't say he's unknown. I'll just say that like he's way more talented than his, you know,
profile
would, you know, assume. Very ridiculous, and one of the smartest people I ever met too, just outside of that. But Lazarus, King Laz, yo. I think it's King Lazarus. It's Lazurus though, not Arus.
All right, now I'll look him up.
Spell that again.
Today's the 10th anniversary actually of his first album called Alienation. It's King Laz, or you can find him as King Laz or King Lazarus, Lazurus, from Raleigh, North Carolina. Insane.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or just check him out on my album, and you can catch him there too. And then you know.
Exactly.
We're gonna listen to that track again, so I can.
Dancing in hip hop. That was one of the things I wrote down. What are you like? It's had such a profound following. I mean, whether from break dancing to doing the Roger Rabbit to all the Reebok or whatever you want to call it. Like it seems like a dance always follows. Like, how do you feel about it as being an MC? How do you feel about the dancing part of hip hop?
Man, I love it. We were just talking about. Tupac came in as a dancer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. I think the shift has gone from like, it was more like a party thing and a skill thing maybe back then. But now when you hear about dancing in hip hop, you might just be thinking about like twerking or something, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, I'm just making a brief observation about that. I have nothing against twerking. I've had some wonderful evenings and encounters with some people some women twerking. But the scope of it, it used to be a time where you kind of had to do it. Like Heavy D had to do it. Yep. He was killing it. He was killing that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, certain people, like, I remember when Biggie passed, like, one of his childhood friends was like, you might not believe it, but he could dance. You know what I mean? So it's like,
oh, that's crazy.
You might think about something like that. Somebody who's considered a gangster rapper. Ice-T was a breakdancer.
Right.
You know, so it's like the divorcing of dance from mainstream rap. I think it kind of has some psychological effects. Just, you know, thinking about that.
That's
just
interesting.
briefly,
so what?
You know,
One question I didn't get to, but it sparked when you were talking. Do you write albums to stimulate the mind or to party? And how do you differentiate? Like, how do you get into that?
I mean, people always consider me an old soul, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started DJing at the age where everybody was going to prom and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to DJ other proms. Like, I was always like that dude. Like, I always wanted to be kind of like more on the business or the unseen part of the hip hop game, but still be an artist. So I ain't ever want to be like a super metaphorical, like outside. Just, you can't get what I'm saying. I try to make everything real simple, but funky and melodic. You know what I'm saying? So I think I just try to walk that tightrope more than anything. But I don't really have a lot of songs that don't have something you could take away from it, though. I don't think, you know.
I've always appreciated that too. Like yeah. Well, it's like people that feel that their words are valuable and they hold value, and so they only give you the ones that that they've curated, and I just think when I find an MC that does that, there's a trust factor that comes up with it, because it's almost like you're like when you love hip hop, man, you love throwing it on and having almost a conversation or a meeting of minds with an MC, and then you can start exploring all of their perspectives and start picking it apart and all that stuff. So when an MC doesn't take the time to really do that part, you're missing to me as a hip hop head, I'm missing a big factor of it. Yeah, it sounds good and it makes my head bob, but I'm missing this other thing. I think somebody like LP always is able to master both, where the shit makes your head bob. It's different, and the lyrics are just like, whoa, what the hell is he saying? Like, that's crazy.
No, that's true. That's a good example right there. And he's all, I was listening to Fun Crusher in high school too, and being from Southwest, it was amazing to see Killer Mike, get with him.
Dude, when that shit happened, I was like, oh, and then my boy, I found out from my friend, like that set him up. So I was just like, from Jason. And I was just like, I was excited about it. And then like just the anticipation of that first album, I just remember just waiting and waiting. Like to me, as a person who loves hip hop, they're the ones that are doing it right now. Like they're almost taking over the best duo spot, from Rock.
Right.
Oh yeah, and they're doing it independent.
No, I find that's a new thing, and that kind of dovetails in my next question. What's the economics looking like for an independent artist like yourself, not being part of a label and stuff like that? I mean,
not being able
are you making any ends, with putting out all this fucking hot fire?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely pay bills. I definitely do stuff with leisure. Like got some money for a feature the other day. Cop some J's, buy a chain. There's other things out here to do, but I got those bases covered. So I kind of just treat this like the fun that I want it to be. And I'm blessed in lieu of like being on the road right now. Merchandising is still a thing. I got a vinyl campaign right now. I'm just doing like 100 pieces of vinyl. It's a crowdfund I got going for another month, like another 30 days. And I'm like halfway through it, and it was 2 months, so I'm halfway at my goal halfway through. So I feel good about it. You know what I mean? It's like and I would be selling them shits like hotcakes if I was hopping off the stage and turning the party out. Like that's how I used to get down. I didn't come back home with product.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's a slump right now for somebody like myself, but I'm still, like I said, I'm still selling beats. I'm still doing. I just started recording people again if I really like them. So it's more than one way to skin a cat when you came up in this from a studio standpoint since you was a kid.
Okay.
You know how to use every machine. It's like it's money out here. You know what I'm saying? So.
So we're gonna start closing down this show and then do some conversations for the after show, and we're gonna go more in depth into some of the conversations we even started today. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about real quick was relationships in Atlanta. Like, do you have any crazy stories, or are there a lot of crazy, snaky type of situations that you've ever encountered? And also, if this is bad blood, please just ignore the question. But I also do love Dustin Teague. And what's that relationship like?
Oh, that's my brother, DT, forever. Yeah,
that's good to hear, because y'all did so much good shit together.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes I'll just be candid. Like sometimes I wish we had more music out right now. But I got I've always had something to do with every Difference Machine release.
Mm-hmm.
We kick it all the time. We got songs that ain't released. Got a song coming out in a couple of days actually with Dylan.
Nice. And real quick, if y'all don't, if you like listening to just new experimental kind of music by underground people that are, support independent people, the Difference Machine is one of those groups that just I feel like it could only happen in Atlanta. It's the perfect mix of experimental and MCing and just goodness. So get out there, listen to their Bandcamp as well. But this show's about Yamin, so go ahead.
Oh yeah, but there's been some things that of course I think if you are worth anything in this game, you're gonna run into problems, and sometimes you can kind of see them coming and you still don't do nothing about it, and that's kind of been me sometimes. It's been a couple times I probably took things too personal at the same time. So
right.
I started in this shit young, bro. I started in this when I was 15, and I was around adults when I was 15, and that could be good and bad.
Gotcha. Well, we're gonna close it up right there. I'm sorry, man. We had to do it, but I just realized that we're running a little bit after time. So
okay, all good.
Yeah, but just stay in the back area. I'm gonna close up the show, and then we're gonna start just talk for a little bit longer, get into a little more depth on the after show.
All right. So, yeah, appreciate everybody checking.
Thank for sure. Check him out, y'all. And I don't know. That was a lot of fun. I love that guy. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But and normally I'm talking about conspiracies and all that stuff, and I love to really go in depth on the history of these conspiracies and whatnot. And I do feel, corporations are legalized monarchies, and I do want us to feel about that. But we need to also do the things that treat us well, and that's music. So never forget about music. And that's the show. Please show love to our sponsors. Visit shopflickwick.com. Promo code ACTJ for 20% off. Normally, if you find an error in today's clips, let us know in the comments and I'll send you a free Flickwick, but that's not the case today. And we are the underdog, so don't forget to visit all the affiliated show pages, subscribe, like, follow. We got KY5 Gaming, ACTJ, and the Nameless program. And visit TMI to stay up to date on all of those things. Take care and good night.